My name is Yulia Sukhanova.
Number 2.
My name is Yulia Sukhanova.
Number 3.
My name is Yulia Sukhanova.
Only one of these people is the real Yulia Sukhanova and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Film and television producer David Niven Jr. Actress and recording star Gloria Loring. The Baryshnikov of football and NFL Hall of Famer Lynn Swann. And to tell the truth's very own Kitty Carlisle. And here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Gordon Elliott.
Hello and welcome. And panel, it's great to see you. And Kitty Carlisle Hart, isn't it wonderful to have Kitty here, ladies and gentlemen? Kitty, not one more second of the show can go any further because you really are, to tell the truth. I need to be anointed by you. You must place your hand upon me, okay? All right. I've got the vibe. The show is. Thank you. You want to get straight down to work?
Yes. Sure.
All right, let's get straight to the first story presented by our first team of challengers, all three of whom claim to be Yulia Sukhanova. And here is her story. I, Yulia Sukhanova, made history last year when I triumphed over 35 finalists to become the first woman ever crowned Miss USSR. Our two-day contest was modeled after your Miss America pageant, but with some important differences. In addition to a bathing suit and evening gown competition, we had a business suit and hat competition. Also, we Soviet contestants had to endure a grueling, month-long beauty training camp. While here in the United States, I'm not only doing my best to help melt the Cold War, but along the way, I also hope to dispel some of those old-fashioned myths you Americans have about Soviet women. Signed, Yulia Sukhanova. We'll be back with our beautiful challenges and find out more about this Glasnost glamour girl after this break. Welcome back to Tell the Truth. All right, panel. These three beautiful young ladies all claim to be Yulia Sukhanova, the first Miss USSR. And remember, panelists, Yulia has only been in America for a couple of months, so speak slowly and distinctly. Let's start the questioning with Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you. Number 2, did you have a talent that you had to do in the beauty pageant?
No, we did not.
And number 3, what was the most important thing in beauty camp?
It was exercising and participation.
And posture?
Posture as well, yes.
What was the trophy number 1, what was the trophy they gave you for winning?
We had a business suit contest and bathing suit and hats, designer hats.
But no
press
present.
conference.
They didn't give you a present.
International linguistic difficulties. We'll press on. Lynn?
Number 1, where are you from in the Soviet Union?
I am from Moscow.
Number 2, how were the contestants selected?
Every republic has their contents before that. So in order to get into the Miss USSR, you had to be Miss of your city or republic.
Number...
Sorry, Lynn. You've got to make sure they answer you quicker. Okay, Gloria.
Number 3, is the contest put on by the Soviet government or is it put on by private people?
It's put on by private company, GUM, department store.
And number 1, is that something very new because of Glasnost?
This is the first one.
Okay.
In Soviet Union.
Number 2, what city was the contest held in?
Moscow.
Number 1, was the business suit and hat competition separate competitions? One for business suit, one for hat?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't wear the business suit and the hat at the same time?
I want to know what they wore under the hat.
5-hour telecast. David Niven.
How many number one, how many republics are there in Russia?
15.
Number two, how many time zones are there in Russia? Different?
Around 9.
Around 9.
Right.
All right.
It's a nice fat 9.
Nice fat 9. Number 3, when are you returning to the USSR, or have you moved here?
I don't know exactly, perhaps a few more months.
And number 1, how many contestants were there in this contest?
35 finalists.
35. Ah.
Well, time is up, panel. Marvelous questions. Very good indeed. And it's time to vote for either number 1, number 2, or number 3. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is filled completely, the team will receive $3,000. Now, panel, are you ready to cast your votes?
Yes.
Kitty, you're first.
Number 2, I should have voted for. She looks Russian. But number 1 looks like a dancer. And so I voted for number 3.
Number 3. All right. Okay. Lynn, let's hear yours.
Well, I'd like to vote for number 3, but I didn't have a chance to talk to number 3. And I would vote for number 2, but the way she's dressed, it just makes you want to vote for her because she looks like she's a queen. So I voted for number 1 because she misunderstood the question, and which means she's just learning the English, and I think she's getting there.
Very good. Very good. Good reason.
Excellent deduction, Holmes. Excellent deduction. Gloria.
Well, I don't know. I'm completely confused. They're all very beautiful, and I feel that number 1 seemed the most certain of her answers in ways that, and that's the wrong side. Gloria, put the right part up. Number 1.
Okay,
there you
number
go.
1. Choose for number 1 so far. David.
Well, I think all 3 deserve to win.
Oh, you charmer.
I know. I'm sorry about that.
Haven't you got a date tonight or something?
That's a very leading... Why, are you available?
I'm with 1, 2, or 3.
Well, I thought number 1 answered the questions very well, and so did number 2, but number 3 had the posture, which you mentioned was very important in the competition, so I therefore voted for number 3.
There you go. Well, now it's time to find out who the real Miss USSR is. Will the real Yulia Sukhanova please stand up? Tell you what, we have a picture here of Yulia as she appeared in the bathing suit competition. I don't know, as Miss USSR. Do you want to see that? I didn't know. Did you? Have a look at this. There she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Warm the engines up.
That'll do a lot to thaw the Cold War, won't it?
Is there a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Moscow?
Throw a couple of those in your rough Soviet winters. Okay, let's find out who our imposters really are. Number 2, you got no votes, but what is your name and what do you do?
My name is Christina Gabor. Originally, I'm from Romania, and I'm a student. My major is physical therapy.
Really? And number 3, you've got 2 votes. Congratulations. What do you do?
Thank you. My name is Ida Bonmer, and I organize exhibit for struggling artists overseas.
I'm a struggling artist.
Are you? How's it going?
Well, there you go. There were 2 incorrect votes at $500 a vote, so your team will receive $1,000. And thank you very much for being with us on To Tell the Truth. After these few words, we'll be right back with a pioneering story of California or bust. Welcome back to Tell the Truth. And let's meet our next team of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Thomas DeMarco.
Number 2.
My name is Thomas DeMarco.
Number 3.
My name is Tom DeMarco.
Well, it's up to you, panel, to locate the real Thomas DeMarco, and here is his story. I, Thomas DeMarco, with my wife and 5 children, crossed the U.S. from Ohio to California in a covered wagon. I found myself out of work with a desperate need to start a new life. My wife and I decided to head west. Copying our forefathers, we built our prairie schooner from ripped-up floorboards, old wheels and canvas. At the start of the trip, we had to trade our horses for an old-fashioned tractor. And at night, we camped and cooked by the side of the road. We endured a rugged 8-month journey, and when we finally arrived, we kissed the sand of the Pacific Ocean. Signed, Thomas DeMarco. Well, howdy, friends. Welcome to the show. And let's start the questioning with David Niven Jr.
Thank you. Number one, how did you get food? Did you stop at supermarkets, or it says here you cooked out? So did you take it with you, or did you buy it on the way?
Basically, we bought it along the way, a lot of canned goods. People invited us in.
Number two, did you see any Indians on this trip?
Oh, just wooden ones.
Number three, it says you use old floorboards. From your house or from a neighbor's house, or where do they come from?
I have had a 100-year-old house, and they came out of the attic of the house.
All right. And the wheels, number one, that you used, were old car wheels, or what sort of wheels were they?
No, those are actual wagon wheels that were 100 years old when I got hold of them.
Excellent questions. Excellent. You had another one, too, didn't you?
A few more up my sleeve.
Okay. Gloria, what's yours?
Number two, where in Ohio did you begin your trip?
A place called Hamilton.
Okay, number three, what are the names of your children?
5, Daniel, Sabrina, Anita, Teresa, and Jackie's the youngest.
Number one, what was the most important thing you learned from this trip?
I think that we found that the people from Ohio to California were just so incredibly good, just such super people that, you know, you had to be out there to understand that.
Okay. Lynn, I'm sorry, you're over, Gloria. Lynn.
Number two, when you told your wife you were about to make this trip, what in the world did she say to you?
I really don't think I should repeat it.
Very smart man. Number three, did you assign chores to your family?
Once we got into a routine, we did. Everybody had chores and knew what they had to do to get us going in the morning.
Number one, how many horses pulled your wagon?
Originally 2.
Okay, Kitty Carlisle.
And number three, when did you have to give up the wagon to take to the tractor?
We made it about 2 days.
And number two, when you got on the tractor, what did you do for cover when it rained and so forth?
I got wet.
All the children got wet, too?
No, they weren't on the tractor.
Where were they?
They were in the wagon.
Oh, excuse me. Number one, you had the wagon and the tractor.
Correct.
When you got the wagon first and then the tractor?
We had the horses pulling our wagon. Then when the horses bolted, we couldn't trust them. We had to opt for the tractor.
Number three, where did the horses go?
Well, Kitty, a good question I'd like to know, too. It's time up for our panel. And it's time to vote for either number one, number two, or number three. Our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a guarantee of $1,000. And if the panel is filled completely, the team will receive $3,000. Panel, are you ready to cast your votes? And if you are, David, you're first.
I thought that number one, when he said 2 horses, I thought for sure they would need more horses, so I didn't buy that one. Number two, I thought waffled a little bit as to his wife's response. And number three fired off right away all the names of his children, so I voted for number three.
Number three, okay. Gloria, who do you think?
I think on an 8-month trip that a person would learn something very concrete and would have that at the tip of their tongue. And number one really kind of didn't have a grasp of what he had learned. I mean, he sort of got to somewhere. I voted for number three because the man knew his names of his children, and he should if he has 5 of them.
Well, my thoughts are that if you're traveling that far, you're going to lose a lot of hair. Number two, looked like you lost some along the way. Except for the last name is DeMarco, and that sounds a little Italian. Number three is a guy who looks the most Italian to me, so I voted for number three.
Oh, looks like a clean sweep if it's Kitty's vote.
No, I think number three was wonderful, and he did know the names of his children. Number two looks like a kind of a movie-type prospector. Or maybe somebody from the Grapes of Wrath with clay. I voted for number one. He had such a wonderful feeling about the people in this country. I couldn't resist him.
Okay, there you go. Kitty Carlisle, the votes are all in. If you look again, We've got 1 vote for number 1, a terrible and shameful performance, number 2, nothing at all, and 3 votes for number 3. It's easy to see where the favourites are. Let's find out who the real modern-day pioneer is. Will the real Thomas DeMarco please stand up? Thomas, you came out to California to start a new life. Have you started a new life? Have you found
Absolutely.
What have you done since you've got here?
Well, we've sold our story for a television production. I'm building furniture, and I love it out here.
Congratulations.
I really do.
And let me introduce Thomas's wife, Lady Pioneer, Pam DeMarco, and their little pioneers. Come on down. Hello, Pam. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What was the toughest part of the trip for you?
Probably everything.
Really? This woman, I think, deserves all the applause, don't you? He had to sit up the front. Congratulations. Let's find out quickly who the imposters are. Number 2, you got no votes. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Warren Murphy, and I'm married to the voice of Bart Simpson, Nancy Cartwright.
Okay, and number 3 votes. What do you do?
I'm from Saudi Arabia. I'm in the oil business, and my real name is Daniel Boone.
Really? Okay. There you go. You were completely fooled, panel. Absolutely. Well, there were 3 votes, as you can see, for number 3 at $500 a vote, so your team will receive $1,500. And thank you all for being on To Tell the Truth. And thank you guys also for being on the program. We've added something new to Tell the Truth. It's called One-on-One. And we'll be back to play it with someone from our studio audience right after this. Welcome back, and now it's time to play one-on-one with someone from our studio audience. Burton, who do you have for us today?
Well, Gordon, I'd like you to meet Teresa Klein of Asheville, North Carolina.
Well, welcome, Teresa. How are you feeling?
Hi.
Are you well?
How you feeling?
All
Good.
set to go.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Now, here is your chance to play one-on-one. I want you to meet a gentleman who has 2 stories to tell. Josh Pice. Welcome, Josh. Now, Teresa, Josh is going to tell you 2 stories, only one of which is true. If you can spot the true story, you'll win $500. Josh, what's your first story?
I was one of Donald Trump's 4 chauffeurs. 3 weeks ago, I was fired.
Now, that may or may not be the truth, Teresa, so let's listen to Josh's second story.
I was in the movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I played the part of the turtle named Raphael.
Okay. Now, Teresa, the panel's here to help you win that $500. They'll ask 1 question about each story, and we'll start story number 1 about the chauffeur with Kitty.
What is in Donald Trump's limo except aside from a television set?
There's a VCR, fully stocked bar.
I'm sorry, Lynn.
When did you know that Donald Trump was in trouble?
Well, directly I knew 3 weeks ago when I...
Gloria.
What is the make and year of car that you drove for Mr. Trump?
It's a white Fleetwood, 1989.
David.
How many chauffeurs does Ivana have?
1.
Okay, Teresa, you've heard Josh's first story. Now story number 2 about the Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kitty again.
How long did it take you to get into your costume?
About an hour and a half.
Lynn.
What are the names of the other turtles?
Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo.
Gloria.
Who directed Ninja Turtles?
Steve Barron.
David.
How large a royalty do you all have on the merchandising?
Don't have any royalty.
Okay, now, Teresa, you've heard the cross-examination. Is Josh the chauffeur or is he the turtle?
Okay, I think he looks like someone who would be driving a limo for Donald Trump, so I'm going to say that he's the chauffeur.
Okay, now, if you're right, you win $500. Josh, what's your true story?
To tell the truth, I played Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Teresa. You were wrong. We do have a nice gift for you, and thank you very much for playing one-on-one. Thank you. And Josh, for stumping, you'll receive $1,000 as well.
Right.
Congratulations. Now, we have a clip from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Josh, why don't you set it up for us?
Well, I'm the one in the bathtub with the red bandana. I've just been injured, and my brother Leonardo is coming to help me.
Let's have a look.
Listen, Raph. About what I said before. You know, about not needing you and all. Leo, don't. Oh, boy, we missed you. It's a Kodak moment.
Thank you, Josh, for playing one-on-one, and thanks for joining us on To Tell the Truth. We'll be right back after these few words. You were great.
You were great.
We'll see you tomorrow. And we'll see you tomorrow, too. Same time, you have a great day.
Behold the day with GSN's daily affirmations.
Let the games begin.
I will take risks. I will accept challenge.
Please do this for me.
I am a winner. See your affirmations in action weekdays from 9 to 3, only on GSN.